You actually did the countdown.
I think it was perfect. I think the countdown was actually perfect this time.
Actually perfect. Actually perfect.
The scene.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Nikki. Straight in there. Hello. Hope you're doing very well. Welcome to R1 Chats episode 102. We have an extremely special guest, arguably our biggest guest yet. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Red Method. How you doing, boys?
Save, good stuff, man. Wicked. It's a pleasure to be here with you boys doing this.
An absolute pleasure to have you. So thank you very much for coming on. We really appreciate it. So there's a bit of a rough format to this kind of stuff. We'll do some intros, then Callum will have a load of pre-made questions. We'll chat shit for a bit, and then we'll move into outros, promos, any gigs you got coming up. So get thinking about those in advance. Get your calendars up. Right. So can I get an introduction from you both?
Do you want to start, Beardy?
Yeah, so I'm Beardy. I'm the bassist in Red Method. I've been with them since 2023.
I'm Jeremy. They call me Jay Sangre, probably in the band, and I'm the founder of Red Method. We started pretty much pushing this out in 2020.
Absolutely awesome. And right, we'll start with the questions straight in, I think. So, Jeremy, obviously you're the vocalist, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But I do the vocals as well.
Fantastic. Yeah. So the name Red Method, where did that come from?
It's a combination of two different things, really. It's one. First of all, I think our main view behind it has always been raw, being very raw. It's a very raw band. It's very primitive. What we do is not, don't sugarcoat anything. We've always been very a huge, presence of energy live. You know what I mean? And so because of that, obviously we love seeing that kind of state of red of survival, really, of going into the primitive part of the brain, the reptilian brain, and really shooting into the aggression side of it, or that survival, primitive instinct that we have all embedded inside of us. That's one. And the second bit is one that also is really important for me as well, which is Red Method is when I was, obviously I'm a blood donor because I have a blood condition in my blood, and I produce too many red cells and more red cells than white cells, and if I don't have a certain method getting venous sections out every 3 months, probably something will happen to me. Probably I'll have, I'll die or I'll have a stroke or something like that, which I've had clots and stuff like that because of it. So when I was a kid and they used to do that, used to take the blood out from me. I used to tell my mom in Spanish, "La máquina roja," which translated in English is Red Method, basically.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's absolutely awesome. That's a really cool, meaningful name, actually. Yeah.
Literally in his blood.
Yeah.
In the blood, yeah.
Oh, amazing. Oh, that's fantastic. Great stuff. So Callum's going to have a bunch of prepared questions for you also. Guys in the chat, good evening. We have Mr. The Monster, we have Nikki, and I'm sure there are many of you out there silently watching. I hope you're all doing well this evening. Yeah, if you have any questions, please do pop them in the chat if you think of anything. Callum, I'm going to send it over to you.
I'm watching on my other account. Get as many. I don't know if it counts if I have it on my phone and if we're on the same Wi-Fi network. You know what I mean?
Oh, I don't know how clever YouTube is now.
Yeah, I don't know. Who knows? Maybe. Agrees.
VPN on my phone.
It's one extra view.
One extra plus one.
So
your own plus one. Now.
I wanted to go more into your guys' like visual side of things, because you are a very visual band. And is it something you've always wanted to do? Like, did you start as a wearing all the having the masks and the face paint and all the costumes and that, or was it something you've kind of adapted into?
Yeah, we pretty much went straight into it, but there was a vision behind it from the very beginning of the band, so it was very much we are quite theatrical, as well, live, so there's a lot of performing and different weird vibes in it, and I think part of it is part of what we do and express ourselves, through this dark, imagery as well, So I don't think, although I think over the years, we're kind of saying, bloody hell, man, like Jesus Christ, covering up in paint every single show from head to toe. Like, and we've had rushers there, Beardy. We've had, like Dave, our guitarist, bless him, he has I have eczema as well sometimes, and he has eczema as well, and we just cover it like pure paint. At one point we didn't have paint, and we had what was it? We had a black spray can to paint cars, and we were spraying that all over the neck, and it was brutal, basically. So, but yeah, I mean, moving forward, I mean, we don't stick to. This is the thing that people, when we release a single, they're like, "Oh, that image is wicked," or we love that image, and it's like, yeah, but we don't stick to one image. Like, we're not that band that just, this is who we are. We shift with what the theme of the song is, and we're a bit more organic in that kind of sense of, we let it just be. We don't. We've got always our costumes on and stuff like that. Our red costumes that Killer designed in the US, which she does Machine Head and Arch Enemy and stuff like that, which is great. And we wear it. Half of it comes off anyway when we're playing live because of the heat and stuff. But we change a lot. We change with the seasons, I guess. And I think probably the band will keep changing. I think we'll probably stick to one image. For the rest of our lives. We'll see how things go. Probably, yeah. We'll see.
It's
Absolutely.
also what works best in the context of the video as well, because the last video we did, Becoming the Sickness, has got a very kind of pagan ritualistic vibe, and if we had the same look that we had in the previous video on that, it wouldn't have worked. So obviously we have to adapt what we look like based on the videos we're doing and what we're trying to get across in the imagery of the videos.
I was about to ask actually about the Becoming the Sickness video, because that one really struck me. I think I messaged you private, Sam, about sort of like the director and everything. But the imagery, and that's really quite striking, isn't it? It's very sort of Celtic, sort of, I guess, Dark Ages sort of vibe to it. Was there any sort of particular inspiration around that, or was it something that came with the song specifically?
It's probably just, it was inspired really by Mad Max and the Druid, and just weird, like you said, the Dark Ages and stuff like that. Again, we went for a very primitive kind of look, something we wanted. We tend to hit our videos more of like an art theme, rather than just a band performing. Me personally, I've been doing metal since I don't know how many years now, and no disrespect to any band whatsoever, or any but I don't even look at performances anymore. I don't care how you play the guitar. Like, I just want to see how cool it looks, and the vibe that it's getting, and if it's hooking me, I'm staying there. But I think I've gone through all that kind of process, so I think we see it more as what journey is this taking us in, and let's follow it and see what we can create from it. And that is it, and maybe the next one we do is going to be completely different to the one we just done.
I'd love to see like a blue paint Celt skin sort of vibe. That'd be fucking cool. Anyway, I absolutely share that passion for the video side of it with you guys. I mean, something we do a lot in Regional One. We focus a lot on the videos, even though sort of we haven't got the budget yet to do the kind of productions we'd like to do. Imagery's always been like really important to us. I think you're really on the money there. Like, it's nice to have a performance video. I think you kind of a lot of the time do it more for industry, more to put images out on TikTok and stuff. But the really interesting artistic stuff, I think, is what has the hook and the grip and makes people actually interested in what you're doing as an artist rather than just a musician.
And it's interesting we're talking about this, because we had a discussion with a band only recently, and we were like, shit, we haven't done a performance video, I think, in Red Method for the last 5 years. I think we did something. We always do playthroughs and stuff like that, but as a band, obviously I love the performances of Pantera back in the day, and and some Slipknot ones, and I still love them, but it's I don't know, it's different. I don't, maybe for me, from my point of view, probably it's because I paint and I'm an artist, so I kind of see more colors and more kind of visuals, and journeys rather than a band playing the instruments, you know. It's so. But yeah, we were talking about that, and we were like, maybe we could throw in a performance, or maybe there could be a performance coming soon. You know, we're not saying no to any of that. You know, we but it could very well happen as well.
Absolutely. I think, to be fair, with your guys' image anyway, it'd be striking enough to draw the eye pretty quick as it is. So there is also that element of it, which is cool. Nice one. We've had a few comments in. Nikki says, literally just watched that whilst I was waiting for you to start. Great video, great sound. Agreed.
Bless you, Nikki.
Yeah. Mr. the Monster, awesome track and video. Bow down and worship me is a brutal and well delivered line. Yeah, again, agreed.
Killer. Respect.
Make sure you guys subscribe. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Make sure you give them a like. Yep. It all helps. As much as I think we all probably hate the online world, we are a servant to it currently.
Yeah, you can tell me about it.
Exactly.
For now.
Well, me and Aaron have kind of broken free a little bit.
Yeah, that's quite fun. These boys just last week, both literally on the same day, independently decided to delete their social media accounts. So that was good.
Oh, really?
Wow.
I mean, I wouldn't blame them. I've been, I've been dying to do that. I'm not gonna lie. I can't do it because mostly the band and the artwork and stuff that I put out is not. I would not have social media whatsoever.
100% agree with that. I think it's one of those kind of Orwellian names, isn't it? Social media, because it's probably the least social thing that's out there. It keeps people away from each other and them together.
I mean, I don't even want to go into it, but just stay away from it. I'm going to offend a lot of people.
No, I think there's a bit of a movement against it at the moment. I think more and more people are, the touch grass lot, and that. I think a lot of people are trying to get away from it, and hopefully that gets more people to shows.
Yeah, especially it's just funny. Me and Aaron did it independently. Like we didn't talk to each other previously. We're both just like on the same day. We've just been like, nah, I'm done.
Amazing.
It must be
amazing.
Something in the air, mate.
But yeah, I didn't fully delete all mine.
I think also, if you're suffering, if you've got your own issues, with mental health and stuff, and you're exposed to this, fountain of, negativity every single day, whether you want it or not, it's just coming in, from different angles, and I think it can get very overwhelming. For the individual that really suffers from mental health, it can get very, very overwhelming at times as well.
Absolutely, and you just don't even know what's real anymore, do you? It's
and that is that's a big one. You don't really know if a band is real, if the actual singer is actually singing, if the guitarist is actually playing the guitar anymore. It's like what artist, it's mind blowing. It's mind blowing.
I low-key kind of hope that people just distrust it so much they're like, all right, we need to go out and find the real people in the real places now, because AI is great and everything, but
AI is going to definitely make people at some point start questioning literally everything they see online, which I think is probably the only good thing to come of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Back on track.
Yep, back on track.
We got deep a bit early on there, didn't we?
It's good. That's what it's about.
I know. We always moan about social media and everything.
Yep.
Brought to you by YouTube.
Classic. Yeah.
Literally, like YouTube. I will say YouTube's the one exception. I actually quite like YouTube. I learn a lot of things on a daily basis on YouTube. I watch a lot of history channels and stuff like that. So I will say I think it's good for information dumping. But there's also like if you ever logged out of your account and seen what shit people are fed, it's unbelievable.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to lie to you. I don't watch YouTube apart from serial killer documentaries. That's what I've been doing for the last 35 years of my life, since I was nearly 10. Well, since YouTube came out, basically, that I was literally just bang on the serial. I don't even watch a video anymore of anything. Serial killer.
Nice, dude, nice. Callum, back to you, mate.
Fair enough. You talked a little bit about the watching all Pantera performances and Slipknot and all that. Are there any people who have or bands which have influenced you the most in what you're doing, either just as Red Method or individually as yourselves?
You want to go first, Beardy?
Yeah, go for it. So I come from a prog metal background. So obviously you guys know my previous band Rally, and we've done this a couple of times before. And my influences musically have always been things like Peter Gabriel, Meshuggah, Dream Theater, stuff that's got that weird kind of jank to it. And I think the term you used, Simon, was music for musicians. A lot of it.
Yeah, man.
But for me, that's kind of been my big love. But then also, I just love a fucking filthy, dirty breakdown in 4/4 that can, just makes you want to bang your heads and switch off. So yeah, things like Chimera and Pantera and all those, kill switches, anything really. But
Chimera, I think, were the third band I saw live ever, and that's because they were third on the bill with Rise to Remain, Whitechapel, and Trivium. It was a good first
nice.
show. It was a good entrance.
There's a wide mix of bands as well.
Yeah.
Like Trivium and Whitechapel are very different bands.
Yeah, it was like a little 800 cap venue. I think it was like Portsmouth or something. I can't remember. It was good, man. It was really good.
Killer bands.
I think if you've got we've talked about this before, me and Callum, either on here or privately, but I think you find that a lot of people will take influences outside of their genre. So if you're in a metal band and your influences are people like, for me, Tony Levin and Carol Kay and all these great bassists that aren't metal bassists, that's where I think the real uniqueness in someone's musical, the music they put out, kind of shines.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but
and Jeremy.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, my influences really are very more old school. Really, I don't listen to hardly anything new apart from, I think, Whitechapel, Gojira, what else? Meshuggah.
I've got news for you, Jez. They're not new.
No, but for me,
but they are real.
Yeah, but they are real.
Meshuggah was, when it came, literally, I was very young when I started listening to it, but it still is it's still more modern than any other band out there, regardless. But yeah, I think those are kind of the bands that I still listen to, but I'm more kind of the old school kind of, Dayside and Morbid Angel and really dark, heady stuff, but real at the same time. I find a lot of this stuff these days, no disrespect again, but I've been around the fucking block too many times, but it's just not the same anymore. You don't know, it's wishy-washy. It's not primal. It's not heavy. For me, it's not heavy. You know what I mean? But, and it's happy. It's still happy. I hate the happy melodies. They're playing death metal, but it's still happy for me. I don't know how. Well, you listen to Morbid Angel and stuff like that, and it's vile. It's rotten. It's pure. You know what I mean? It's different, man. It's just raw. It's just it's complete different energy. Alice in Chains, one of my favorite bands. I like a lot of shock kind of music. Manson, when Manson in Antichrist, Portrait, the very beginnings as well. The weirder the better, really. You know what I mean? The more twisted and deranged, the better. But
I must say, I quite like his collaboration recently with, I think it was Falling in Reverse. He did the God is a Weapon track. That is it's quite operatic and stuff, but it's so the undertones are so heavy and massive. Oh, I really like the sound of that.
It's killer. Mm-hmm. It's killer. Yeah. I went to see him recently, and it was heavier than seeing Lorna Shore. Basically, that's how I can put it to you. It was ridiculous how heavy Manson sounded. It was huge as well at the same time, but. Yeah, I'm more on the old school vibe, Sepultura, you know what I mean? That kind of, those kind of energies. Biohazard, but I love everything. Hardcore, I love all the genres, really. But I'm more, if I get influenced, it's more by a movie soundtrack, really, that I get really, really influenced by pianos and again, really shock, weird, stuff that rather than, music. And then it's more kind of weird sounds and emotion, really, rather than music. For me, it's more about the journey and the vibe that it's giving, the energy. Yeah, I've never been that kind of. It has to carry like a big weight to it and get me somewhere. You know what I mean? Something weird in emotionally to be able to get influenced by it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's really cool, man. What you say about sort of like particular sounds and things, I find that, especially in movies, I think you're really right there. Like, it doesn't have to necessarily be musical, but something to it is musical because obviously there's a
Yeah,
rhythm to films and everything like that. But
yeah. There's a
yeah,
lot
I
of
find that a lot.
classical music, like 28 Days Later, the soundtrack of that
Mm.
is absolutely
Mm.
unbelievable. It's
Did you
so.
see the new films?
No, I'm dying. I'm gonna. Yeah, I want to see it. I'm gonna see it. Is it good?
Yeah, I really enjoy it. I've seen them both. Yeah, they're really good.
Yeah.
I enjoyed them. Yeah.
Oh,
It's
killer,
definitely
killer.
one to
Yeah,
focus on. You can't have it on in the background. It's so like you need to be in the moment and in the
yeah.
fucking
Killer.
good. Really good.
But that's
So get rid of your
classic.
social media before you watch it, yeah?
Oh yeah. Go to the Bone Temple, boys. That's what you want. Like, it's so good.
Yeah.
Honestly,
But that's
the composition of it and everything, like the set design is absolutely incredible in that film. I
Is
just
it?
think they
Yeah.
nailed it.
Bloody
Yeah,
hell. I need to
really
see it.
cool.
It's a bone collector. Yeah, it's a bone collector. No, that one.
Yeah, there's one before it as well. You want to watch 28 Years Later, and then 28 Years Later, the sequel is the Bone Temple.
Yeah.
I think they're doing one
Definitely.
more.
But that's exactly what I'm saying. Those kind of vibes. You know what I mean? And that I've got more influenced by stuff like that than listening to a band. So there you go.
Do you find something I talk about with our guitarists quite a bit is when we're writing songs, we're already kind of it's written around the images in our head a lot of the time. We've already got like, if we could make the ideal music video, we know what it looks like as it's being written, kind of thing. I find that quite a bit.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think you shoot for something and you want it almost in your head. You're already kind of putting the blocks together for it to kind of shape up, in that kind of environment that you want it to go with, either more aggressive or more emotional or more twisted, and then you start building it.
Absolutely. I'll catch up on a few comments then. So Nikki says 2040 we'll be walking to the box office to buy gig tickets again. I sort of said, I was like, I don't know about you guys. I've never been able to experience that. I really crave that thing I've never had. That would be really nice. It feels like
Queuing up outside, waiting for the tickets to go on sale. Yeah.
I feel like that'd be a nice sort of cultural experience. We don't, waiting on Ticketmaster's not the same. I can tell you that fucking much.
No.
I hate it.
That's crazy.
Mr. Lamont says, music is a great release and helps me mentally every day. These guys' music has been very helpful to me recently. The power and attitude helps forget the unimportant things in life. Awesome, man.
Sounds
Yeah.
good.
I don't know about you guys. Like,
Beautiful.
people always assume it of like metal and rock fans that they're gonna be like really angry all the time. But no, I feel like the music is getting that out of you, isn't it? It feels empowering more than anything. It's not like angering.
It's the release, isn't it?
Absolutely.
I mean, for me, one of the most important, things, I mean, everything's important especially from the fans and stuff, but that's why we do it. But a lot of that we've got over the years, and especially with the last release as well, is, people's emailing us and texting us or leaving comments and stuff saying how it's helped them through their mental health and how it's helped them, help them with their schizophrenic, the personality disorders and stuff like that, which is like, wow, they've left massive messages about how the track has helped them and how they play it, and that is for me, that is the everything. It's more than doing a show more, with 1,000 people in it or whatever, because it's helping people ultimately, and it's really touching really deep somewhere where not a sellout band cannot touch really.
Yeah, we've created like a sanctuary for a lot of people's sort of when they go to their dark place, we've created something that they can go to as a sanctuary to kind of keep out of that, and that's always really nice when people tell us about that.
That's really cool. Yeah, I'd never really considered it that way. That's a really nice way of putting it. A sanctuary for their dark places.
Yeah,
that's
nice.
Awesome. Nikki said a new genre, rotten metal. Right, Nikki, let me break something to you now. Have you heard of gore noise metal? Because if you haven't, big shout out. You need to check out our friend Tom Peppard in A Proctophilic Necrophile. All right.
Yeah.
It is a genre, and it is mental. It is as mad as it sounds. But he just dropped his debut EP. It's really good, actually. So really well done. A Proctophilic Necrophile. Nice one, guys.
I can never pronounce their name.
It's a mouthful. I can't read it. I definitely can't read it.
But then that's the mark of a good. That's a mark of a good death metal band, isn't it? If you can't read the logo, so
absolutely, yeah. It's it does look like tree roots or like
yeah.
Definitely, yeah. Pretty interesting. It's good stuff. And also, Following in Reverse are bloody awesome. Yeah, they're one of the bands that I really want to see live. I was really hopeful that they might be a download this year. But I know there's a few issues getting them into the country at the moment.
Yeah,
so that's fun.
I don't think they're coming in the country soon.
Oh yeah,
we won't get into that.
yeah.
Yeah, clear of that.
Again, they did the same with like Tyler the Creator, and he's back in now. They said he was a threat to the UK. Tyler the Creator, it was insane, yeah, absolutely insanity. That guy wasn't allowed in for like, you know.
He could just go to France and grab a dinghy.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, he could have. What's he gonna do? They're anywhere, as long as he's not making money, I think.
Anyway, okay, if you happen to be watching, bring the band over.
I mean, the rest of the band's fine. I think it's probably just Ronnie Radke.
Yeah, it's just him, isn't it?
Pretty much.
But then he's their publicity guy, isn't he? Because I would never have heard of them if it wasn't for his, opinions. So
yeah,
there we go.
Still part of the artistry in it. Fucking hell, what a wild time. Nick says, "Yeah, we let Trump in. Don't get me started." Fair enough. Yeah. Yeah, you never know. Ronnie Radke might take over the UK. That's my prediction for 2027. I think we got enough going on this year. Fucking hell.
Yeah.
He's gonna run for prime minister, is he?
Yeah, that'd be good, wouldn't it?
That'd be amazing.
I reckon he'd stand a chance in this climate as well. Celebrity status and everything.
Probably would, to be honest.
Yeah.
Probably got more of a clue than the rest of them.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, fucking hell. Mental place we're in right now. Yeah, I don't know about your guys' bingo card for 2026, but so far it's like it has absolutely blown my bingo card out of the water. I did put aliens on there, so I'm quite happy about that one. We're getting the alien files, the UFO files are dropping this year, so I'm really excited about that.
Did you see it?
Yeah.
Did you see it?
Did you see it flew really fast. All right. Callum, back to you.
Back to me. I don't know. We kind of go through the little questions as we're going along. We're just talking about things. They kind of answer themselves. It's amazing.
Coming up naturally.
Yeah, exactly. It's just natural conversation. It's absolutely incredible. We don't have to guide people into what we want to hear.
It's just nice. It's just pleasant. It's just good, really.
We can go over what's a favourite gig you guys have played from yourselves.
Ooh.
It's interesting. I think our shows lately has been completely bananas. I'm not going to lie to you. Been kicking off left, right, and centre. But I mean, we've done big stages like Bloodstock and the main stage, and the headline, the download the body stage. Yeah, dog out stage. Yeah, that one. We've done numerous main festivals and stuff, but I don't know why I prefer it. I prefer when it's a smaller venue and it's just kicking off. Basically, I've always had that vibe. I don't know. It's more intimate. It's more raw. To it. The other way is just very open and very. I don't know. It's. Don't get me wrong. It's killer as well, but I think one of a very, very good one that we did lately was the second stage of the Blood. We headlined the second stage in the Bloodstock Winter Gathering, and that was just the whole room was packed from. They couldn't allow more people in. Basically, the room was filled up, and people was just fucking bouncing off the walls. We did another great show as well for. It was a 6-6 bar in Cambridge as well, which we're playing.
Nice. Love that venue. Yeah.
We're playing it there again at the end of the month, and and that was for the promoter Douglas, which passed away, bless him, recently, and was very sad. But that was mental for us as well. Yeah, I think it's funny, really, because when you expect the show to go, oh, that show is going to be killer, it's going to be blah, 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 then it happens and you're like, oh, it really, and then when you least expect it, it's like, well, that was mental. That show was absolutely bananas. Oh, yeah, it's an interesting one. What about you, Beardy?
Well, the two that stick in my head most recently are, the Bloodstock one, I think. The thing I took away from the Bloodstock second stage one was at the beginning of the show, they had one security guard, and by the end of the show, they had 5 security guards. So I think that was quite telling that they had to call in reinforcements because of our very own Gibraltar monkey.
Yeah, they were pretty pissed off. I was, jumping on the barrier and jumping on the crowd and back again and flying stage.
Sitting on top of the PA that was up, climbing up there. That was pretty cool.
A PA wobbling, everybody looking like, oh, fucking hell, it's going to fall.
There was one question for you on that. Did you get penalised for that at all?
No, well, we didn't. But if you're not allowed, really. You know what I mean? But you're not allowed. It takes over.
I think it's a case of no harm, no foul, isn't it? As long as you don't break anything, I think they'll just go, don't push it next time. But I think you're all right.
Nice.
But there was another show we did in Sheffield at Corporation, and that's always been a good venue for us. We've always done quite well there. But it was I think it might have been the second or the third time that we had our light display fixed up with everything, because recently our guitarist Yaka has built this light display into our scrims and our backdrop. So we've got lights synced up with everything. He's absolute fucking genius, Yaka, on that one. And
he's a computer. He's like a computer, like a motherboard of a computer. He connects all the cables. And, like, he's getting a tattoo of like 10 leads connected to his neck all the way around the fucking body.
Nice.
He's our very own Terminator, isn't he?
Yeah.
But for that gig, it was very that was one of the first ones where we all had to get involved and set it up because of time constraints and all that kind of stuff. And we're all a bit kind of stressy and a bit on edge before the show, because we had to connect all the cables up and get it all and do that. And then because it went so well, and I remember thinking afterwards, that's why it's worth getting a bit, having it a bit stressed before the show and making sure, being on it so much that you make sure everything's proper. That one for me was a pretty special one. I think that might have been the second show that we had the light display on. I think the first one was Corporation.
Yeah.
In the Cotswolds. That was the first show that we had the lights on. I think not Corporation.
That was a good show. Yeah, definitely. I was killer.
Yeah. So those ones for me have been the pretty special ones recently.
I love the idea of you in the Cotswolds. Where was that one?
It was a biker bar in the Cotswolds.
That's sick. I'm keen to get us in the Cotswolds. I really like it there. It's really pretty. It's
nice, isn't it?
Yeah, it's gorgeous, man.
Bit of a shocking image as well, because they didn't have a shower. So when we're going back to the hotel, and we've still got all our makeup and stuff on, and we're there like, "Hello, we're here to check in, please."
Yeah. They're like, "Oh, I've read about these things."
It's pretty much like that every show, really, because no matter what you do, you're gonna have paint. If you got a nice shower, you might get away with just having a bit of eyeliner and a bit black, driving back or whatever. But usually, not every venue has a good shower, so it's driving back covered in makeup and sweat, and stopping for petrol and getting food with all that shit all the time.
I thought it was bad with my little eyeliner down here, but
yeah.
You never really think about that when you see the band. You don't think they're going to go home and stop off at a Mackey's or something, and they're all going to be playing their get up.
Yeah.
Puts a different image in your head, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Pretty good. I got a question for you guys about the for the Sick album cover in a minute, or the single design. But before that, got a few more comments come in. So here we are. So Hazy Fantasy 82, the Winter Gathering gig was epic. So it does sound really good. Yeah, I wish I could have gone to that one, to be fair. And Mr. Lamont
Amazing.
says,
Cheers, Hazy.
what's that, sorry?
No, I just said cheers to Hazy. Yeah,
Oh,
she's one of
absolutely.
the.
Legendary. Mr. Lamont has a question for you. He says, can we expect any more material in the near future?
Yeah, of course. So we drop in another new one basically in the end of the month in the new shows, and it's going to start picking up basically now from now onwards. So there's going to be a lot of new material coming.
Fuck yeah, dude. Well, we're definitely going to have our eyes on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
Nice one. So I was looking at the design for the artwork on the Red Method for the Sick cover, and there's some pretty wacky shit going on there. So obviously you've got the palm, you've got, I don't know, is it Lotus design in the background as well? You've also got some interesting geometry going on there. Was that something you guys designed yourselves, or was that something you got an artist in for?
Which one? Sorry, bro. Which one are you talking? The one in Spotify or what?
Yeah,
for the Sick album cover.
For the Sick album cover. Yeah.
Oh, right. Okay. So yeah, I can explain that.
Nice.
It's pretty much what it is, what I was telling you at the very beginning of the seeing red and being, going into your primitive brain and using the reptilian part of the brain. So there's a philosopher doctor in the US called Dr. Siegel, Dr. Siegel, Daniel Siegel, and he explains how we become dysregulated very quickly as humans, and what we need to do to calm ourselves down. And the way he explains it basically is by showing the palm of the hand. And basically this means that almost like this bit here is a kind of is almost the amygdala, which is the main part of the brain that gives you all those emotions basically. And when we are in control of our emotions, we have the cap on our thinking brain, and we can regulate all those emotions. But slowly what happens is when we become dysregulated and we become into a survival state, we open up basically the palm. So it has like a whole theory process and psychology behind of it. So it's not just a palm, a random.
That's really cool.
So yeah, and I thought it would be a good idea just to go for a symbolic thing. I mean, straight bang on the first album. Really, we're looking at artwork for it and stuff like that, and we have a lot of artwork in the inlay. It's like we have the artwork, we have an inlay with artwork for every single song, but it didn't. I don't know. We just thought let's just keep it very almost 90s, when Downset and bands like that used to come out, rap metal, and back in the day they used to have a logo on just like a symbol. And at the beginning we were like, nah, this artwork is wicked, but we thought, nah, let's just keep it simple for the first one and just have like a very symbolic thing at the beginning. And it worked.
It looks really definitive.
Yeah, it worked really well. I mean, for the second, for the new stuff we're doing, there is full artwork and stuff like that. So yeah, it'll be different. We weren't going to go for the symbol again.
Nice. No, that's awesome. We'll keep an eye out for that also. Callum, have you got any questions we can start looking at wrapping up with, mate?
Yeah, we can do a few. What would you say is the hardest thing about being a musician?
Yeah, Beanie, if you want to go first.
For me, it's all the admin of the online stuff that we were talking about earlier, like having to have that online presence and all that. The playing is like that's why most of us became musicians, right? We wanted to play, and we wanted to write music, and we wanted to express ourselves. And unfortunately, in order to do that, you've kind of got to toe the line of social media, online presence, all that kind of stuff. So for me, that's the hardest bit personally. But
I agree with that. Hands down, yeah.
Everything else, keeping your ego in check, that can be quite hard sometimes, because after you've just played a killer show and everyone's telling you how amazing you are, sometimes you've got to be like, right, let's not let that get to me head a bit. Let's try and be a bit more grounded. But everything else, compared to having to trying to keep up and trying to keep up with the online online side of things and being present and having that kind of presence with content and that kind of stuff. That's the toughest bit for me.
Yeah, I mean, I think, you know, I relate to Beardy. I think, you know, being a musician, the proportion of it really, of playing, which is what you really want to do, is really only 5% of being in a band. Sadly, it is. It's just 5%. You gotta be the artist, you gotta be the manager, you gotta be the hustler, you gotta be the booker, you gotta be the online, you know, promoting, you gotta make sure that the marketing's right, you gotta make sure that the press is right, you gotta make sure that the ticket sales are going forward. It's endless. It's literally, it's a job. It's, if you want to be more, you know, known or successful, you know, it's really hard. Really, it's really hard, you know. And we've been independent all our time, and we've been messed around by a few major labels. I'm not going to say who, but we've been really messed around by a few major labels in the last 2 years. Hence, why we haven't been able to. We didn't release the new stuff before. But I think that is definitely one, which in itself, you've got to be living it and breathing it every single day. And if you don't, if you don't, you will only sustain it a few years, and then you'll give up. And sadly, it links up really well with my next thing. Sadly, I think my hardest thing has been working with, and I'm going to say be transparent, really, because I'm sick and tired of it, is working with people that haven't got the balls and the strength to carry on, which they commit to something that has been explained to them very well what we're getting into. You know, if we're going to war together, we need to fucking be prepared for war. Like, you know, if not, don't enter the fucking battlefield, basically, because if you're gonna get hit, and you're gonna get hit again, and you need to get up, and you're gonna have to get hit again, and then you need to get up again, and then it's hard, you know. So don't commit to bands if you can't, if you're not strong enough to do it, you know, or you don't want to do it, or you haven't got it fully in you. You know, you got to have a lot of, you know, you got to grow a very thick skin, and be able to take criticism, and be able to, for people to say, you know, whatever about you, and keep going. You know what I mean? But also put everything you've got into it. You know, if not, it's just not gonna work. It's eventually will break somewhere, and I've seen it with so many.
You hear so many stories about people who they've wanted to be like a successful musician all their life, and then when they finally get their first like big thing, like a big tour, or they get signed, or anything along those lines, and then once they're done with that first big thing of theirs, they realize that it's not for them because they haven't got what it takes to like actually keep that lifestyle going. Because you're going to be away, you know, if you're going to be really successful, you're going to be away from your loved ones for 4, 5, 6 months at a time. You know, you're going to be at home but not switched off, because like Jeremy said, you've got to be on it 24/7. Your brain's constantly thinking about the band, the work, what's next, what's coming up. And yeah, you do hear a lot of stories of people who work all their lives for it and then realize it's not for them.
Yeah, and you know, sadly there's a lot of flaky people in the industry, and it's pretty dire at the moment. I'm not going to lie to you. The amount of conning there is out there to bands, and even sadly members, you know, members conning each member up. You know what I mean? And it's you know, I know the industry, obviously there's no money in it, and you know, for I'm talking about, you know, not the top. You know what I mean? And people give up very quickly. And like I said, if you're not strong enough, you're not gonna even see a bit of success. You know, you got to be really, really strong and gel together, and be prepared for it. You know, be prepared for it. If you're not ready for war, don't go in the battlefield. You're gonna get, you know, you're gonna have to, you know, go for it. And the other thing is, like Beardy said, you know, a lot of people get success very quickly, and you know, then they reach, you know, they do a shortcut. For whatever reason, they might be rich, they might be paying their ways to the tours, they might be paying their ways into download, because it does exist, and all these kind of things does exist, you know. Sadly, the thing is, the fans and people don't see this, you know what I mean? But it does exist, and you know, how does XYZ all of a sudden be at the top and download? And how do
Who
you
the
think
fuck
he
is
got there?
president?
They are my mates. Presidents are my mates. They're good friends
Yeah,
of
yeah.
mine. They're very good friends of
sound.
mine. But, and, you know, I'm not going to comment about, but I'm saying there's a lot of stuff like that. You know, the rich are paying their way to get the success these days, basically.
Mhm.
And if it's not for that, they wouldn't even be playing in a pub of 100 people. And that is the truth.
Absolutely.
You know, and I think it will eventually. More people are noticing, and it will come. I think it will be a big thing in a few years. You know, but at the moment, it's paying your way up, basically.
I think it's also, it ties in well with the sort of the TikTok era as well, because you've got a lot of these people who will suddenly have like loads and loads of views on TikTok, and for some reason the industry's paying so much attention to that and not to, do they actually have draw in a venue? Have they been doing this on the road for 10 years? Do they know what they're doing? Have they cut their teeth, essentially? So you're getting that sort of TikTok fame doesn't necessarily translate to being in the real world, I think, but it does seem to affect bookings now, which is crazy.
But it comes with that, what we were talking a bit before about the whole AI and social media. You don't know what's real anymore. You know, you don't know who's grafted, who's been there doing it properly and lived it and breathed it and sacrificed it. It's, you know, you don't really, because, you know, some people are just paying their way up, and it's frustrating because, you know, it really ultimately it's just not fair, but it is what it is,
really,
you know.
Best way to make money is have money, innit? So
yeah.
fucking bollocks, eh?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, man.
It is bollocks. It is bollocks. And that is the only thing that's made me think, you know, in the last few years, I can't be asked. It's not worth it. I need to put my time into something else, really. You know, that's the only big thing for me that has really, I've thought about it a few times, you know. It's like, really, I should be, you know, doing something else, really, you know. I mean, because I've seen so much of it, and it's more each time I'm seeing more, and each time more and more and more. So yeah, it's a tricky one, but you know, I mean, Red
we get
Method
those
is more.
moments though. We get those moments from our fans that we were talking about earlier that kind of kick us back into, like, when we do feel like, oh god, this is a bit pointless and all that, and then you get those moments from the fans and you're like, oh, actually no, this is a real person, this is a real interaction, and it kind of, it recenters you to realize that what you're doing is actually real compared to what someone else online, which isn't. So you have to
it keeps us doing what we're doing, you know, the what's
a very
behind.
very wise man once said to me that in order to be successful in this game, you've got to enjoy swimming in shit.
Yes.
And that wise man was a Mr. Gomez, and he's absolutely right. You have to enjoy swimming in the shit.
That's quite the stoic outlook. I like that.
I mean,
what 90% of it is.
I mean, but any musician I work with now, the first thing I ask them is, do you like shit? And when they say no, I say, well, you're going to have to like the taste of your own shit and swim in it every single day, because that's what we're going to get into. Like, you know, it's not going to be sugarcoated. I'm telling you the truth. This is what it is. You know what I mean? It's the reality of it. We are not rich kids. You know, we're going to have to fucking work. Whatever we do is sacrifice, you know, and earned. But I like, you know, it's a good feeling, you know. For me, I
say you wouldn't be settled if you were doing anything else. It's one of those things. It's like as hard, like all the things we talked about for the last 10 minutes. Without it, though, life wouldn't be. Yeah.
Exactly. But it's very interesting. Yeah, definitely, man. Definitely.
Yeah. Well, gentlemen, thank you so much for coming on. We're just coming up on the hour. So, yeah, thank you guys so much for coming on. Have you got some shows you want to promote? Have you got anything you want to talk about before we head offline?
We have got quite a lot of shows this year already. Let me just get the list up for our. So we've got the 66 Bar in Cambridge on Friday the 27th of March, and we've got the Face Bar in Reading for the Moshville Awards on the 28th. We've then got Bearded Theory Festival in Catton Park in Derbyshire. That's on the 22nd and 23rd of May. And we've got Norfolk Brickmakers main stage on the 3rd of July. And we've got the 24th of July at Northants Rock Festival.
Sick.
So There's a lot of stuff there. And then we've also got a 3-day stint with The Haunted in October. That's on the 8th, 9th, and 10th. So the 8th is in London Underworld. The 9th is on Manchester Rebellion. And the 10th is Glasgow Slay. So tickets are available for all of them. If you check our stories, we tend to post every few days with ticket links and all that. Just keep your eye on them.
Nice. Thank you very much.
Nice one.
Biddy, if you can stick
Nice
on
one,
for a
boys.
few minutes after I have an idea, I want to have a chat with you, see what you think. But
Yeah, go for it.
yeah, nice one. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning in. I'll just run through the last few comments. So, where were we up to? We were at, we need a Red Method after show vid. Yeah, that'd be cool, like a behind the scenes kind of thing, I'm assuming. Like,
I think they're on about,
like
when they're eating Mackies in the car park. And...
Nice.
that'd be pretty good.
So I don't think we're legally allowed to show our after show vids, but that's another conversation.
There are websites that you can show it on, just not in the UK.
Yeah, you need a VPN.
Yeah.
Oh, you got a license for that, mate. Nikki says, take my hat off to anyone making a band work, proper commitment and hard work. Yeah, absolutely. She also says, saw a band recently that were on Britain's Got Talent that apparently played Download. Obviously got the right people behind them. It's a difficult one, that. I won't go too into the competition shows and stuff. They are very, very stage managed. When I was at uni, I met a few people who were doing work on Britain's Got Talent, and it's extremely stage managed. There is some genuine work going on in there, but yeah, a lot of it is sort of like
Yeah.
It's not our cup of tea. I will say that. Like, I think it's a route for some people for sure. It will put you in a particular part of the industry that I guess probably ourselves and probably you guys kind of tend
at
to
the end of the day,
avoid.
it's all publicity, in it, and there's no such thing as bad publicity. So whatever you can get it, grab it.
Damn right.
No one's going to give it you.
Absolutely. You're damn right. Our next show that we have announced is Cobblestones on the 4th of April. So if you can make it down to that one, we've got a fantastic lineup. We've got Namer on the bill again. We're going to be doing some cool stuff with them. And who else do we have on the bill, Callum? Because I shut that page, didn't I?
Federal
Blackout. That's it. Yes, cool. We've been recommended these guys. We've not seen them play. I've checked out some videos. They look absolutely great. New, young, upcoming bands around the Bridgewater area. So come on down if you can make it to that. Tickets are on sale. It's only a £5 in advance. It's £7 on the door. So if you can come down, support the bands, please do. We also have a slate of shows to be announcing very soon. We are putting a tour on. It's all self-funded. It's all self-done. So if you can come to any of those shows or multiple of those shows, please do. We'd love to come see you. We'd love you to come see us. And we will announce a bunch more stuff very soon. So keep an eye on the pages. Thank you guys, Red Method, for coming on this evening. It's been an absolute pleasure. Anytime you want to come back on, you are always welcome.
Respect, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you so much for having us, dude. Callum.
Thank you, guys.
Brother,
And thank you, everyone, for watching. If you're watching from the future, thank you from the past. We appreciate you all very much. We will see you next week. Callum, who do we have next week?
Next week we have, oh my God, Everburn, I think they're called. I can't remember.
Nice.
It's in the diary.
It's in the diary.
It's in the diary. I think it's
Everburn. Yes.
Everburn.
Everburn. Awesome.
Everburn.
We'll see you then.
Right.
Thank you so much, guys.
Yeah.
See you later. Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Bye. And
Nice. Sam.